Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about Chase Brown in today's video. We're also going to talk a little bit about Taj Brooks. We're going to go through a bunch of different clips. I think this guy is fascinating, and I think what's even more fascinating is he's actually now starting to get some build-up because of fantasy football. You know, fantasy football drafts are going on. People are like, oh, hey, look, Chase Brown, RB1. People are going to forget about, outside of Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, Chase Brown. And I just think it's interesting, and I'll even break this out. So Chase is right here, right? And this is 3rd and goal halfway through the season last year. Nobody's open, right? So Joe Burrow is going to extend. I like drawing on these screens. Joe Burrow is going to extend to his right, and you're going to see Chase Brown right here. This guy is a very smart football player entering his 3rd campaign. Zach Moss was the starter, and then, he unfortunately broke his neck. And I got a fun stat for you, but we'll let this play out. So he notices this. You see a couple of guys notice this, and you don't see running backs do this too often, right? It's easier said than done. All right, my quarterback is rolling to his right, so let's follow that football, right? We're not only on defense. Not only defenders need to follow that football, chase after that football. Let's get after it. And you see his speed, you see his burst, and then just the catch, I think, in general. Once again, just to kind of allude to, you don't see too many running backs be able to do it all like Chase Brown is able to. But like I said, we got a bunch to show you, so we'll keep it moving. All right, guys, once again, Chase Brown. Now, this is, week 12, week 13 against Pittsburgh here. Since he's pretty much got to run the table, something they dealt with way too much last season. You see that burst? It's kind of nuts. Now, I want to give you this stat before we go any further. So, Chase got the starting role in Week 9 last season. And from that point to Week 17, he ranked 5th in the NFL in yards from scrimmage, which would have placed him, or did place him, 5th in the National Football League, which was just 2 spots and 29 yards behind the Triple Crown winner, you guys know, obviously, Jamar Chase. Now, that's projected over a full year, just a little under 2,000 total all-purpose yards. Now, I mentioned Taj Brooks. You got Samaje Perine. But people talk about Chase Brown, like I said in the first clip, because of fantasy football, which, hey, I love fantasy football. But I'm watching some of this tape, and it's like, holy cow. Now, I was really big on Chase Brown a couple of years ago when he came out of the University of Illinois, because I'm like, oh, hey, this is a dude out of the University of Illinois. I'm born and raised in the Chicagoland area. I'm a Notre Dame football fan, but I got a bunch of buddies who went to U of I, and he really just caught my eye for that reason, just like kind of Pat Bryant is for the Denver Broncos. But this kid can play, and, Pat Bryant can too, but this isn't a Broncos video. You're going to notice this burst in a lot of these clips I'm about to show you. All right, so once again, we're looking at Chase here, number 30. Ooh, the bad square. But here's the thing. Not only did he have 990 rushing yards last season and only 16 games played, he also had 54 catches for 360 yards. And here you're going to see this against Dallas. Catches this football. Blockers do a good job here. He just runs so quick. This burst is something that is heavily under-discussed, so they should be able to push him. 50 right here on Dallas should be able to push him out. 7 on Dallas should be able to push him out. This guy, can help it. All these guys, 13, should be running really hard right now to push him out of bounds if he gets to the 12-yard line or whatever. And he just says no, and he even outruns number 6. Now, I thought this was interesting. This is his rookie season, and he's just going to run, do something like that. Still can't figure out how to draw. I'm going to show you something that I really love, and it's that hesitation right there. But here's this burst we're talking about. And this is his rookie season all the way back in the end of 2023. He only played in 12 games, only had 179 total rushing yards. He also did have 156 total receiving yards. But I'll let this go one more time. And, the blockers and the timing, all of this is really good work. But you're going to see Chase. It's kind of hard not in slow-mo. You see that, stutter step he just took? So let me see if I can get a number on this guy. I can't tell if that's... I don't even want to say if it's Miles Jack or whoever this is. It looks like 33, something like that on Jacksonville. But you see this slight moment because Chase Brown can do a couple of things. So you can go out of the edge like a lot of running backs do. Let me beat him with his run. And you got a nice blocker here. And there's going to be a little bit of a collision here. But he does just a little stutter step. It's a game of inches. It's a game of seconds. And this stuff I find absolutely fascinating. Like I said, sorry we keep rewinding it, but I feel like you almost have to see it in real time to really just get that. So I saw the burst, I see the vision, I see the patience, and this is going all the way back to his rookie season. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about Taj Brooks as well, because you do have Samaje Perine, but Taj Brooks made the 53-man roster as expected, and we'll even just get to it, because I got some comments on this. All right, guys, forgive me. Before we get into Taj, I want to just show you one more Chase Brown clip this last year against Philadelphia Eagles, because like I said, everyone talks about Joe Burrow. Everyone talks about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, as they should. People don't appreciate those three players. Like outside of Bengals fans, everyone's freaks outing about Trey Hendrickson, and now he's officially signed. Everyone freaks out about their defense. Everybody freaks out about the loss of their DC, even though I think Al Golden's going to be better. Everyone freaks out about the offensive line. People freak out about Zach Taylor. People freak out about all these different aspects with the Cincinnati Bengals, and they don't appreciate the small, little, simple stuff like this. This guy, he's an absolute workhorse on one of the high-scoring teams in the National Football League. And sorry, this clip starts a little delayed, but you can see, it kind of looks like a check down. The clip's literally just starting here. It looks like a little check down to Chase Brown, and he not only separates, that looks like a tough fall, but he separates and stiff arms the Eagle defender, and then you just kind of see that burst going. That's a little meme right there. But you see that burst? It's crazy. All right, guys, finally some Taj Brooks talk. Now, Brooks didn't have a crazy preseason, and that's why you kind of see some people outside of Bengals fans freaking out. Oh my God, is he not an 8th round fantasy football sleeper? I've got a mock ready. I'm taking him. I'm handcuffing him just in case Chase Brown, whatever it is. Statistically, didn't do too crazy. The offensive line did not do him any help. So once again, we got number 25, Taj Brooks here, and we're looking at just pass pro, because this is, if you're a third-string running back, you're looking at special teams, you're looking at blocking, right? Or obviously injuries. But once again, Taj Brooks. I'll outline him again, because I love to draw on the screen. Here's the blitzer. Right here on Philadelphia's, second or third team. Here he is. Coming in hot. Boom. And it results in a nice little completion. All right, now we got another one. Once again, let me get to drawing. That's a decent square. 25, Taj Brooks. Let's get into it. Green 18. Picks him up. Picks him up, picks him up, picks him up. Now, we won't talk about the result of the play. I love Jake Browning. All right, I certainly do. But once again, here we go. We got a blitzer on the Philadelphia Eagles defense. All these Bengals guys. Oh, jeez. All these Bengals guys, they're kind of shifting to the right. All right, and then you're leaving 74 on this island here. All right, Taj Brooks going to pick up the blitzer. Pick him up. Smart football player. Not easy to do, right? Easier said than done. Now, there's one more. This play gets completely blown up. So, a little bit of a play action. We got Taj right there. I'll let it just play out. You can see this play is like completely blown up, and it's, overthrown and all that kind of stuff. But it's blown out, and you're going to see him take on 41 there. It's, like I said, maybe this is kind of a stupid clip to even show you guys. I really love these small little details. This guy right here on Philly's defense just runs through this. It just picks up this play. No matter who's at fault, I don't know what we're doing over here, but he's getting right to the quarterback. Was that Woodside? But I just like the pass pro. All right, not to get a little weird on you, but this is a little homemade video from Twitter. And Taj was really good yards after contact last season. I saw a lot of stuff about one thing on social media would be, he looked as indecisive as he did at Texas Tech last season. And then another post would be like, I loved his quick decisiveness. What I really liked from him in preseason, once again against Philly here, is just the physicality. All right, and it's just these small little yards. We don't have the best quality here, but it's just these small details. And I don't, like I said, you have Samaje Perine, you got a workhorse in Chase Brown. Whether Taj Brooks has a decent role, a small role, a big role this upcoming season with Cincinnati, I saw way too much hate around him from some of these preseason reps. I mean, I can't show you like a 2 or 3 minute video, or we could, but it'd take a while to break down. I could show you all these 2 or 3 yard carries from Taj. I mean, there's just not really many open running lanes from him in preseason, and that's to be expected when you're playing with third stringers. You're not playing with guys who, most of them aren't making the 53-man roster. And I just kind of wanted to talk about this running back room because you got the vet, you got the savvy vet in Samaje. You got possibly one of the better running backs in the NFL, especially statistically this upcoming season with Cincinnati and Chase Brown. And now you got a little guy in your back pocket in Taj Brooks entering his rookie season. So I thought this was interesting. Let me know if you guys like these videos, these style of videos. But that's it from me. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys haven't already. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Peace.